Today we have a new used product to take a look at, and today's new product is a Pacifica. This is called a PAC212VQM, and I picked this up used over here in my area in California, Norco, which is close to Riverside, where I kind of live. And kid was selling it for $250. I got him down to $2 bills. So what's in here is 3-ply pick guard, alder body, maple neck, satin finish, 25.5 scale length, which is 22 frets, rosewood fretboard, almost very close to a 14-inch neck radius, quilted maple veneer, split coil, a Linko 5 humbucker and bridge, 5-position, and die cast tuner. So pretty simple unit. I have another Yamaha, by the way, that's it's got DiMaggio P90. Not DiMaggio, Seymour Duncan P90, and a Seymour Duncan, I forget exactly, but I really love that guitar. And so I saw this one, and I found even this gig bag, Gator, to be quite interesting. It's got a little, not even the latch is something that is like this. The latch is on right here. But I've never seen a Gator case. It's a nice soft bag, you know, and the kid was like high school age, you know. He said he played it when he was in high school, and it's got everything. There's the whammy bar. He gave me a couple cleaning cloths. Okay, we can't go wrong with that. Very nicely padded bag. I mean, so when you think about, you know, 220 bucks, you know, you're getting a pretty nice gig bag. It's got some really nice padding in there. So anytime you can get a gig bag, especially a good one, for 200 bucks plus the guitar, hey, you're winner chicken dinner. So, you know, the strap lock will definitely, he's got these little things. These are kind of cool. I didn't even notice that, but they keep the strap from coming off. And okay, I mean, I'll take that. I mean, I normally don't use those, but I could see why they would be quite handy. And so there's another one. So there's these little rubber kind of washers that fit over the strap buttons. And so she's a little dinged up, you know. I got it because I kind of like the quilted. It's not crazy quilted. In certain shadows, it looks brighter in the camera than it does in my face. But it's got a nice piece of rosewood, and it's got the coil tap. But let's put it on the workbench, because we're going to just lightly clean the frets, and we're going to put some fresh strings on it. But we're going to take a look underneath here to see exactly what we're going to be getting. Here's the headstock. You know, it's also got a veneer. It's got a satin maple neck. Nice grains. Nice grains. Nice piece of rosewood. The dot inlays seem to be, I don't want to say crazy abalone, but they maybe pearl, yeah. And it's definitely scuffed up. And actually, this black pickguard cover is factory. So yeah, but it does have, you know, hey, it belongs to an 18-year-old kid in high school. He played it when he was in a band. I did look at the neck angle, and seems pretty straight to me. So let's put it on the workbench, and let's kind of see what it looks like underneath the cavity. Why not? What else you got to do today except watch this channel, right? All right, hold on. Okay, so usually what I like to do is I do this to just about every guitar. Yeah, we're going to loosen the strings, you know. I could get an electric winder, but you know, I'm old school. I'm 61, guys. So, you know, I'm going to just keep it simple. Maybe I'll speed up this part of the film, you know, but I'm using my cell phone, so it's, you know, I'm not using an editor or anything like that. It's low tech. This one's a little too tight here, so gotta get all the tension on. We'll just snip these ugly things. They're really bad. You know. Yeah, pretty crusty. Anyway, let me stop the film and then I'll come back when I got the strings off. Okay. Here's a little tip. You know, sometimes, you know, with these cheap bridges, the ball ends get stuck down in the cavity. Use your top E string and you can jam it down in the hole because it's a much stiffer string, and it will actually kick out the string, because a lot of times those little ball ends get stuck in there. And I use the top E string because it's just a thicker gauge, and it'll push those ball ends right out of the holes. You know, there's usually one string that gets, you know, kind of stuck, and you just have to push it in there and free it up. You don't have to use really anything else. You know, you don't have to try to stick anything down there and damage it. Just a little tip if you don't know. Okay, well, we've taken all the strings off, and there's really no sense in taking off the pick guard because it's not really an open cavity in there. I mean, just, you know, because here on the back side we have the cavity for the pickups, and you know, we've got a dime size pot. This would be a dime size coil tap and an imported switch. And since it is a 5-way, I always say anytime that you're planning on even changing the strings, take a snapshot of this. If you ever want to wire a 5-way selector to an imported switch, this is also a guide, you know, to help you understand how to wire an import switch. When you have the same configuration, you can replicate it, you know. So this is also a good thing to use your cell phone for. Take a snapshot of that, and also how they did the coil tap. You know, sometimes you have a humbucker that's only 2 wires, and sometimes you have humbuckers that are 5-wire. So it's always good to take a good look at the wiring configuration. Take a picture of it, catalog it, and it'll be a good reference to you. Okay, this seems to be a 4-piece body. Nice grains, but it is a 4-piece body. I don't think the kid was messing with it at all, you know. It's got a very standard, you know, Fender Squier type bridge. Definitely no big block there, but it's routed very nicely. You know, it's got a little nick right here, so we'll have to kind of seal that up, make sure it doesn't start breaking away. So it needs a clean, you know, needs to be cleaned up a little bit. You know, other than that, it's got a nice piece of rosewood, and it is rosewood, nothing composite. And we're just going to clean up the little frets, you know. You can see here, if this camera will focus, frets are a little tarnished, you know. Is it going to focus? Are you going to focus? No, it doesn't want to focus, you know. So nice piece of fret. Yeah, so it just needs a good cleaning, you know. And I'm just going to use my fret erasers to kind of do that with. And we'll just take another look at it. Also, what I'll do is I'll get my little wrench here, which is usually 10 millimeters, and I'll tighten these down to make sure that they're snug. Don't over tighten it. If you over tighten them, then you take a chance at cracking the finish underneath. But they just need to be snug, just not too tight, not too crazy. You don't need to get down there and crank on it. That's no. And then usually the buttons need to, because these are really loose, so the buttons need to be tightened down here with that screw needs to be, so that they're nice and firm but not over tight. So let's get to doing that and see how she looks afterwards. All right. So yeah, I talked about, in one of my videos about, setting up a guitar and all that. And so I have, I think I got these on Amazon, these fret erasers. And they're really good. And they have 3 variables, to work with. So you have a very coarse one that will usually take off a lot of material. This dark green one. The yellow one is it's like a medium coarse. And then the green one is for more of a polishing, smoothing out. I've never really had to use the third one because it does remove material if you use it. I use usually the yellow, and it's really simple to use. If the frets don't need a lot of work, all you need to do is just rub your fret eraser over them. You don't have to press really hard. In fact, if you're not, then they glide over the frets very easy, but they do remove a lot of oxidation very fast, very easy. If this is one of those guitars where you're not going to do a lot of fret work, this is great to have, and it's easy to vacuum up. It leaves behind a little like pencil eraser thing like that. So, and when I'm kind of done with that, then I'll use the green one here to kind of smooth it out, And it all depends on the frets themselves, because did I just say because twice? Wow, that's crazy. Because the condition on guitars varies. Some guitars you really have to go in on the side like this, because the tarnish is so bad on them, and you can do that with this too. It really helps to do a little extra better, and I'll kind of do that. All right, and then when I'm done with that, I'm going to use some F1 oil on the rosewood to hydrate the neck, and then at the very last step, I'll use my Dunlop polish and kind of wipe it all down. And I even have some Dunlop wax that sometimes I use depending on the finish of the guitar. So we'll come back in just a little bit. So when I use the F1 oil, I like to rub it in with my hands, try to get it in the grain. Like anything, I'll wash my hands off after, but try to work it into the wood grain, and just give it a few minutes to settle in there. Let it hydrate. It does wonders for the rosewood. On maple necks, of course, not so much, because maple is a very hard wood. It has very little absorption, but you can use the F1 oil on maple too. It's just it will not absorb as much as the rosewood. The rosewood is a very porous wood, so things sink in there really, really nice. And it doesn't take much, guys. And I'm rubbing it in with my fingers just to get into all the little nooks and crannies, and then we'll wipe it off, so it won't look, as wet as it does right now. I'm done using the fret erasers. It's good enough for what I want to do, and we're just going to do a basic clean and string it up, check the intonation, and then we'll be able to do a sound test. Simple. Trying to not make the video too long with it, but and that is a veneer. It's orangey brown. They say brown. It's between a red and a brown, I guess. Yeah. Dunlop also makes this thing called body gloss, which is like a wax. It's very non-abrasive, not like a car wax. It's called cream of carnauba, but it does good. So if your finish has a lot of scuffs, this is good to use. If it just needs a light cleaning, maybe not. But this is a very creamy carnauba wax, so it's like the texture of mayonnaise, so it spreads real easy, and it does a good job. So it's your choice whether you're just gonna spray it and clean it with the 65, or you're gonna use a little wax with the cream of carnauba. But either one works good. If it's just general cleaning, of course this. If you're just doing your first time setup and you want to really try to polish it out, this is good. It's like light cream stuff, you know. But first, I like to use this to wipe off all the dirt, and then I'll use the cream to kind of go over it. Another thing I like to do, you know, a lot of times you get a used guitar and the saddle has a lot of dust on it. You know, a lot of times you just need a good little toothbrush here, an old one, soft bristles, and it'll really take out a lot of the dust and lint that are in the springs. You know, it doesn't take a lot. You can spray a cleaner in there if you want, you know, to kind of enhance it a little bit, and then use your rag to kind of clean up the area. But toothbrush comes in handy in the areas. You know, I've been using this quite a bit. Of course, it's a little smudged up, but a good toothbrush helps to get into those little nooks and crannies, even around the pickups, the singles, you know, these little crevices. It's good to get around there. Sometimes you'll see dust down in the cavity. A good soft toothbrush will get down in there and lift a lot of that crud out of there, you know, and then you just wipe it off. So find yourself a good toothbrush. Before I put on the strings, of course, I'll use my fret rocker just to make sure that there are no uneven frets, and if there are, then I'll use my little fret file to kind of sand that one down, or even maybe even hammer it down. So these are good to have too. So I did find a few high spots, you know, on the 12th fret. So I just, you know, used my fret file and I took that down. You know, you can't go crazy, just enough, you know. And here at the 10th, and they got pretty even pretty quick, you know. So it doesn't take a lot, you know. And this one tool, you know, I got on Temu. It's been pretty faithful to me. They sell them also on Amazon. You know, you can get Stu Mac kind of tools, which are much more professional, but definitely more expensive, you know. So taking a look now at the rosewood, you know, you can see it looks very nice. You know, it really took in a lot of that F1 oil. Yeah, it's good, guys. So after a little bit of the spray, now I'm going to rub in a little bit of the wax. Doesn't have to be a lot, you know. The stuff, like I said, the consistency is that like mayonnaise, you know. It looks like mayonnaise, but it's really creamy. That's why they call it cream of carnauba. And you know, it spreads really easy, but it'll help with the overall shine. You know, you just don't need to put a lot of it. It's not as abrasive as car wax, you know, but it's for the finish of the guitar, you know. So it doesn't need to, you don't need to put a whole lot. But if you're needing something more abrasive, then I'm sure that car wax, which has more has some more abrasives inside of that cream, and then I'm gonna polish it off. And with every guitar, you know, I put some lightly densed foam down in there underneath the springs. It helps to keep them quiet, you know, and you know, a lot of times when you're playing guitar, your strings are actually coming through that bridge, and you'll hear a lot of that. But you know, as long as the foam is getting underneath the springs and making not a heavy contact but a light contact, the springs don't ring out. They're very functional, but they're a lot more quiet. And there are other methods to use, but I find this to be the simplest. You know, I always try to find pieces of foam that are soft, and I just cut them to shape, you know, make sure that they're in there. It does quiet down a lot of spring noise, as a lot of the string coming through the bridge will actually, you'll hear a lot of this chamber, like a reverb. They'll come through the springs, you know, so it's just a simple little tip. If you find some nice foam, you know, hold on to that. It comes in handy. All of my guitars have some sort of foam down underneath the springs. And now I'm going to use some electrical cleaner, since I know that this guitar hasn't been played for a long time, as the kid told me. I don't want to button everything back up and hear that the pots are scratchy. So I'm just going to go ahead and clean them out. You can use this. You can use WD-40 electrical cleaner. I was using that, but I ran out, so this is just the next best thing. It evaporates really fast. You know, you just need to get down into that little cavity and spray it in there. You know, turn your knobs. All you need is a little paper towel to help absorb whatever isn't getting evaporated, because it's very quick. You know, it's very quick, this stuff. So, you know, when you're setting up a guitar and then you get everything squared up and you notice that the pots are all scratchy, so this will kind of help eliminate that and free up any dirt that might be in there in the tone pot, because it's definitely been sitting a while. And while we're at it, let's just take a look at the singles. What kind of pickups are there? Well, you sure don't have a lot of room to peak, because, yeah, not a whole lot of room, guys. Yeah, those are definitely a Linko 5s. And yeah, there's just really like very little room. There's no shielding in there. That can come at another time, but right now we just want to get it up and playing. Maybe we'll do some copper shielding in there later, but it's stamped at least, and it looks good. It looks good, but yeah, the pickups are definitely, you know, those Linko types. That's nice. And you can also order another pick guard too. They do sell pick guards for these. Maybe a nice dark brown pearloid or red pearloid would look good rather than this white one. This is factory. I don't know why they did black. I think they could have chose something else, but you know, so those are two things you might want to be able to match up, find something different. As a pick guard holder or humbucker holder or humbucker whatever the hell. So yeah. All right, let's string it up and see what she sounds like then. Okay, now we're gonna put on some Ernie Ball 9-gauge strings, and while I'm doing that, I'm gonna check the intonation and the radius to make sure that all the strings are leveled and make sure that the neck is straight. And we'll do that with some Ernie Ball Super Slinkies. Hey, why not? Okay, well, we're going to finally wrap this up. So, yeah, I did spend some time with the intonation. It was kind of a little whacked, I would say. So this is the Yamaha PAC212VQM. And I guess the coil tap is really going to be only useful for the humbucker, because what else could you coil tap with HSS? So let's listen to the bridge. I guess we can coil tap that. Here's the treble all the way up. got new strings. I think we're okay on the... It's a little flat. Coil tap. Very, very thin. So it almost makes no purpose really to have a coil tap there. Because if you coil tapped it and then went to position 2, there's almost no difference. Coil tap. Back in. So yeah, it wouldn't make any difference, you know. Coil tap. So I wouldn't see a purpose in having a coil tap if position 2 isn't really changing. Okay, middle position. If I coil tap, I shouldn't hear anything. Okay, position 4. Then the neck. Not bad at all, you know. The pickups are pretty decent. What does this guitar really have going for it for, you know, the $200? Well, it's got an alder body. It's got decent pickups. It's got a great neck, really nice playable neck. Nice piece of rosewood. You know, I like it's got definitely a slim C-shaped neck. So, you know, nice piece of maple, and it looks really good. It looks really nice. It's got good grains on the back, and you know, when you're looking for a good guitar, like I said, you know, whatever feels good in the hands is one of those things you want to pick up. So on the clean side, definitely have fun doing clean stuff. So, and then if you want to get dirty, let's get a little dirty. Let's turn up the delay, throw on a little Behringer Ultra Metal Distortion. Well, there you go. And that's all you need to know, I think, when it comes to this guitar. It doesn't take much. You know, yeah, you got to spend a little time. It's used, polish the frets, do the intonation, use strings, hydrate the fretboard, reset the radius, you know, make sure everything's good. You know, put a little bit of foam in the back of the springs to keep the springs from rattling and picking up any reverberation that gets transferred to there. And for the money, it's a great guitar. They used to sell for $3.99. You know, it's got a solid alder body, so it's quite heavy. It's not at all too light. So, you know, that's good to have. And it's got a great playing neck. So all of those factors in. Is it worth the $200? Absolutely, all day long. Winner, chicken dinner. It's a great guitar for $200. And you also get a gig bag. So that's it for the Yamaha, used on the Facebook Marketplace. Yeah, you can shop around and find good deals, and this is one of those deals. I think it's a good deal. It's a good playing guitar for $200. I'll take it all day long. So thanks for hanging out, guys. Sorry for the video took a lot longer than it needed to, but I was trying to get through it best I can. All right, have a good day. Take care.